The following video does not glorify violence. The following video is almost exclusively about meme culture from today's date all the way back to the 1940s or maybe earlier. The following video is about communications of data on objects that have been found in evidence concerning an incident recently. The thumbnail for this video will be a mock-up of what might have been seen. We still don't have the actual pictures. Until we have the actual pictures and more than one source, I don't even know if this is real. The fact that someone had to get up in front of a bunch of reporters and say these things was probably the effect the individual wanted to have. So here we go. The statements written on objects concerning an incident. Again, I'm not glorifying violence, and most of these are literally just online internet memes and in-jokes that you'd have to be an old fart like me who's been on the internet way too much to get. Some of them you already know. Some of them are ones that you've used. Some are very recent. Here we go. I'm going to read 4 of them. 2 of them are not as depicted by the Wall Street Journal. Interruption. This video is a critique of the Wall Street Journal's irresponsible reporting and them not learning their lesson from the last 20 times they've done this shit, along with the rest of you who grabbed onto this. Here we go. If you can read this, you are gay. Now, if you're not aware of it, that is actually a very old reference. I couldn't find an actual listing for it. Maybe you'll find it. Of if you can see this particular pattern, that means you have bad eyesight. Remember that one for being colorblind? Well, they would change it to say you're gay. These were jokes that were done on the internet to screw with people's heads. This is an example. I remember seeing that as in one of those stereogram images. Someone made one to where, you know, if you did walleye like I can do, it would literally say this. And basically people were told, read what it says aloud. Almost like someone setting someone up that they had to read this during a press conference. They could have actually put something else in there to make them say something that sounds self-deprecating. Okay? This is an in-joke meme off the internet. I only know of it simply because I'm old enough to have seen it at least 10 times. Okay, 100 times. On the internet. Okay? All right. Next one. This is much more recent, but it came out originally 2013 or around thereabouts. Probably was around even earlier. It is a reference to online fan fiction culture and their habit of putting in their rather odd, not very subtle way of describing what's going on in a conversation between two people of what they're doing. I could do a video on this subject on how you do movies where you have to verbalize that you're putting on a jacket because no one can see what you're doing if you're doing voiceover work for a radio program. But if you're doing an animation, you don't say those things, that sort of thing. This is an example of that sort of thing. And this would be an aside over here saying what the person's doing. But it comes out like this because this is just included. This is sometimes called, in the computer industry, an in-band exposure of data. Like you're trying to have a text conversation with someone and you find out that they're an AI bot because it says, run line 4322, distract individual while breaking into their bank account. That's actually an in-joke these days. This one's much more recent, but it is 2013 forward. Notices bulge OwO. What's this? That's, if you're not, yes, again, this is some online fanfic, poorly written, cringy shit, okay? No, this isn't anti-fascism or anti-Nazi or Antifa or pro-transgender. This is some furry shit. Direct quote from the video that I'm linking. I have one link going to a song that was created from somebody finding one of these fan-produced little bits of cringe and making it into a rap song, then someone else animating it, and then finally, one of my favorite examples of someone animating it in 3D in a video game called Team Fortress 2, and it's Scout being harassed by a wolf girl. It's furry, not trans. Get it right. Now, the thing I'm going to say right now, if you expend a huge amount of effort on the internet avoiding what communications on the internet means or memes, if you avoid this, you are doing so to remain not just ignorant, not just actively ignorant, but deliberately or consciously ignorant, so that you can fake being shocked at something that is, this is literally a joke that ended up being the channel name for someone, okay, who's semi-famous, several of them. The point I'm making here is this is not pro-trans, nor is it anti-fascist or anything else. Neither is this, if you can read this, you are gay. Again, that's an old reference. I mean, literally, it was called the gay test picture. And yes, some of you are going to want to flag the video. I understand that. But again, you're on the internet how long and you don't know these in-jokes? That's like walking around in the United States and not knowing how to speak our damn language. Okay, I'm sorry that you've chosen to be permanently offended and permanently shocked by stuff you can look up off the internet. Literally, just go look it up. But if you're going to do that so you can keep plugging your ears and screaming, it's pro-trans or it's anti-fascist. You know another word for anti-fascist? Pro-America. Shut up. Learn. I'm sorry, but this has to be said every goddamn video, apparently. Stop maintaining your ignorance so you can fake not knowing better. You do know better. The next one. This one is a reference to being anti-Nazi, anti-fascism, and therefore Antifa if you want to use that expression in a weaponized way. Again, Antifa, anti-fascist, and anti-Hitler is pro-America. Get over it. I don't give a damn if you like hearing it. We have to stop. Your history lesson should have begun a long time ago, and you deliberately avoiding civics and knowledge and history means that you want to cause shit to happen again that was terrible and wrong, and you don't give a fuck. Okay? Let's move on. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao. The words translated individually are Italian for oh, beautiful, hello, and hello, repeated in a couple of cases. It's from an anti-fascist, therefore anti-Nazi, Italian folk song conversion and rewording that was used essentially to drum up support for fighting off all the fascists while they were taking over Italy, and or going after the Nazis, and or it was used apparently to taunt Nazis that were just within earshot to fuck with them and distract them. Once they heard it, they, and I don't know the words of the song, I'm not Italian, but you get the idea. So this is our first reference to being anti-Nazi. And if you have a problem with that, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you. And again, this is not pro-trans. Now we go to this one. Literally saying, hey, fascist, catch, on a cartridge that's going to fire a bullet. Okay. That's the first reference of two on the single cartridge. Again, we had notices bulge, blah, 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 ciao, 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 blah, blah. And if you can read this, you're gay. This is the cartridge that has two references on it. The first reference is very obvious. It is an anti-fascist statement. It indicates strongly the person was planning on loading the cartridge into a gun to shoot someone they perceived as being a fascist. Direct statement. We have two anti-fascist statements, no anti-trans or pro-trans. Nothing. The next part of it is up, right, down, down, down characters. This is a Helldivers 2 reference. It's a stratagem code for something called the Eagle 500 kilogram bomb. This is equivalent to, putting in the Super Mario's cheat code or whatever, any video game code for any particular activity. All of these, if you look at them, except for the one from the 1940s or whatever about the anti-fascist statement, all of these are online current references, including Hey Fascist Catch was used not too long ago for lots of different things. It's been around for a while, but it also includes the Epstein files as a sign of, here are some anti-fascists throwing the Epstein files at a bunch of conservatives who were fed up with this bullshit out of Donald Trump. But this could be, I don't know the origin reason for this. Now again, I've said at the beginning, I'm not glorifying violence. These are all just online memes, and one of them is insanely old and was used as a way to taunt Nazis. And again, being against Nazism isn't bad. It's an Americanism. You're supposed to be Americans about it if you're America. In fact, if you're in other countries, you should be against Nazis as well. I don't know why it's been equated to be you're a terrorist if you're against Nazism. Somehow you're not using the wording because you don't want to hear it, right? And again, if you go out of your way on the internet to engage in discussions with people who know better, acting like you know better, but you won't look this shit up on Know Your Meme or just find out where this came from, you're weaponizing your ignorance and you're trying to act innocent when you're definitely not. Okay? All right. Now, and I'm going to bring up my statements here. This entire video is a criticism of the Wall Street Journal publishing something that was deliberately phrased to them by an anonymous source now, or they're lying and they know damn good and well who it was and they need to publish that. An online source that was anonymous that tricked the Wall Street Journal into printing something they knew would absolutely aggravate the Republicans and conservatives in this country to go out and hunt liberals. They did this on purpose. It wasn't reckless. You knew damn good and well what you were doing, Wall Street Journal. You are guilty of inciting violence against half of the population in this country, you cocksuckers. There is no reference in here that has anything to do with trans. No, the people at the Wall Street Journal who are journalists are not allowed to say they were ignorant of this. Well, this is what we were told. You repeated something without confirming it or having evidence of it. This trust me bro reporting has to stop. You wanted this shit. You needed something to get views and you exploited it, but I'm not saying you did it for views or any monetary value because a lot of Republicans be okay with that. You, the Wall Street Journal, advocated for murdering half the population in this country. Fuck you. It's over half the population hates Trump right now. Over half the population's furious with the government currently because it is a kleptocracy. I think that's how it's pronounced. It is run by a dictator. He has replaced everybody in charge with someone who is loyal to him, and now they're going to file court cases, or more accurately, no court case, just jail or shoot people for saying things that are negative, including punishing people for saying anything negative about Charlie Kirk, including Charlie Kirk's own postings on the net are being flagged as hate speech against him because he said something hateful about someone. It makes him look bad. You all fucking voted for this. If you voted for it, you have to admit it. Every one of you needs to have... No, we're not going to do like a specific movie where we carve a specific pattern in your forehead. No. We're just going to brand your face with... all of you go out and get a Trump tattoo on your forehead so we know which people to avoid. Get it done. Don't lie about it. All of you crowed on the internet constantly about this crap. And now you have someone who's part of your own population very likely doing this. This is a person. The person who did this was raised in a strict Republican environment, blah, 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 blah. That's what happened. And he decided he didn't like specifically one person. Did he go after anybody else easier to go after? No. He went after somebody within the group he grew up believing in, being a fascist and saying horrible things. Charlie Kirk was a nasty, horrible person in many ways. I do not advocate for Charlie Kirk being removed from the population like this. This is not acceptable. He's one of the few of them, even though he lied all the time about what he was really doing, that you could actually have a debate against and maybe do something about it. It's like Bill O'Reilly and the rest. They would engage in debate because that was civil. As bare minimum civility as that was good. Compared to all the shit we're dealing with, where Trump is literally talking about taking away radio and transmission license from people because they published his own statement on camera that made him look bad. They're trying to make a law against vilifying Kirk by posting the shit he typed out and said. This is the world you're in. You're soaking in it. So we have 5 references here. A Helldivers reference, a reference to furries, a reference to a self-test to find out if you're one way or another, and 2 statements that are obviously anti-fascism. None of them had anything to do with trans, and the Wall Street Journal is being criticized in this video. They need to stop doing this shit from now on till the end of time. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And yes, the thumbnail for this video will be a mock-up. It won't be real, and it'll say mock-up right under it.